And, it was good. That's what the pre-games are about, to sort of build and sort of add layers of the storyline, to what's going on. Some are so lame and some that's overdone, but this was, I just ate it up. Had a little college basketball on one, in an NBA game and another one, but the sound and the big screen in my media room was on the hockey. And it was just great. And they were just, I mean, okay, how are we going to do with the national anthem? We said that. They announce it, so it's kind of a hard deal to change. I mean, they dampened that. They expected, and it would have been much worse if they didn't make a stern announcement right before O Canada. Period. You still had some.
Yeah.
You still had some, but it was,
Then they started singing along about halfway through.
they dampened it. It just so anyway. But these, and Charlie, this is so funny. We discuss and we debate so much, but we are so on the same. I can't believe he even brought up the old wide world of sports, because back in the days where there wasn't a gazillion games on Saturdays, it was the wide world of sports. Then they would do some skiing, they would do some cliff diving, they would do some boxing.
The Globetrotters were on every night.
They would do, whatever it was. Cosell's interviews with Ali would be part of it, the whole thing. And in the introduction, the thrill of victory, in the agony, that was it. That camera caught. I mean, that dude was flying on his skates, where I'm sure he's the highest paid. He's the best player in the world. He's the highest paid. But that was authentic. It wasn't staged. No. It wasn't, hey, give me my little handshake that we rehearsed 70 times in practice. No, it was authentic, genuine excitement, celebration with his teammates. And then you show the American Bank, and they are freak. Damn. They had it. We were so, I mean, how many times? One thing you got was the U.S. has a big advantage in the pipes. No, because that dude won it in overtime. How many of those 6 saves should have gone in? 1 or 2, 3? I mean, it was competition. We won our players. How could they care anymore? It was so.
The checking is what in an all-star game. I'm not going to tell you I watched a bunch of hockey all-star games, but the checking is probably not. Just like the tackling in the Pro Bowl was. Hey, look, man, just go to the ground. We're not going to hurt anybody. No, they were after it last night.
I got a good and they were like, well, Connor McDavid and Sidney Crosby. They just got to get them in more open space, and finally the other guy says, this is a better team than they face on a regular basis in the NHL. This collection of U.S. players, they're better.
Yeah.
They're more talented. So maybe isn't that a cool? I mean, no. So maybe you can. It's just the opposite with all-star games or exhibitions. It embarrassed everything. Listen, the Pro Bowl is dead. You can't. The nature, the physical nature of that sport, and now they're asking them to play more games than ever, which is it's. We're here for safety, but until it affects our pocketbook, I mean, you can't ask those football players to anymore. And we've just I think we can accept it. To play basketball, man, y'all should be real embarrassed. Period. Yeah. Because basketball is, man, we're gonna play at the Y on Tuesday or whatever. Our pickup games at Glasgow, wherever we going. I mean, the 8-foot goals, man. Back when you're high school, throw it down. Whatever, man. We're gonna play. And even Kobe said, man, this should be the best pickup game in the world. And I mean, we get to, but they should be really, really embarrassed. But the hockey wins, man. It wasn't the result that we're pulling for in this state, and I'm kind of really makes it a little aggravating seeing some of the when Trudeau said you can steal our, but you can't steal our gang. I mean, come on, we keep the politics. The politics added a little spikes to this. I guess you can't have it without them,
Trump's trolled him so many times. I don't want to get political, but Trump's trolled him so many times. Him snapping back was completely expected. Okay.
You pay more attention than I do.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he had that coming.
But it's it was awesome. It was awesome. And if you want to talk about it, the Russians got to be involved. That mean are they great? They have accomplished more as in hockey than the U.S. has, and they need to be involved.
They're easier to fit for the black hat. The Canadians are not real villains. Okay, this was just high level hockey. The political stuff threw some gas on the fire, but the Russians are real villains. Okay, I thought about last night. I thought about Michaels' call before the legendary game with the Russians in '80, and he said it doesn't matter if you know the difference between a blue line and a clothesline. This game matters to everybody because the Soviets, okay, they were easy to fit with the black hat. Okay, they just invaded Afghanistan and all that. This you had to care about it. The Russians are a lot easier to fit for the villain's role than the Canadians are.
Well, it's whatever path they take, it's easy. Whether you want to do it every 2 years to copy the Ryder Cup, I think that's the most logical, approach on this thing. But it gives it, that's pretty cool. We want our athletes, your words and mine that we've used before. We want our athletes to care as much as we do. Man, couldn't they care anymore? Man, poor Kachuk. You see his dad in the stands, I mean, devastated.
It was like they lost Game 7 of the Stanley Cup,
and it was great theater. It's what sports should be. And you were talking about Beck yesterday, the quarterback from Georgia's down at Miami. You say, this is aggravating us as old guys. Really, you need a Mercedes and a Lamborghini? But keep in mind, this is hurting him. And I think the point you were getting at is that quote that is more common now. We want to find the football players that care about football as opposed to the guys that like what football affords them.
Yeah.
This is a classic case with all kinds of, warning signs. When you got multiple luxury cars, when you don't need them, you leave in a great situation, for a mediocre situation, the whole bit. So, man, thank for hockey for reminding us why we love sports.
If you care, we'll care. The care level of it will be reciprocated, good or bad.
It was so good. It was so good. And I mean, who would have known, huh? I mean, and Charlie, you brought up yesterday, you brought the Magic thing, the All-Star game. I had lost the All-Star game way before that. I don't mean to rain on your one parade, but I thought that was scripted. How they let Magic do some of the things he did, and you just don't.
It probably was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was scripted. You don't allow him to do what he wants to do, and you're trying to win a game. Okay, there was a compassion thing, and that's fine. That's a human, but that that's humanitarian, and that's nice. And Magic was going through some illnesses, and he's brought a lot to the game. And okay, if you want to do that with your game. Ain't nothing scripted last night, bro.
There was nothing. No,
nothing.
I agree wholeheartedly. Thumbs up.
But it was great.
Hockey guys.
Buffalo oysters over here is one of our appetizer features here this Friday at Rufino's. Also the shrimp cocktail, the poach. Damn, Hal's already got the shrimp cocktail, huh? Look at those jumbo shrimp over there, Charlie. The poached tail on the Gulf shrimp, cocktail sauce with the Napa cabbage slaw. Entree features today and this weekend here at Rufino's. Sea bass, pan-seared Chilean sea bass with the mushroom thermidor capellini. Suggested wine pairing is a Bayou Chardonnay out of Napa. Our steak feature this weekend is a dry-aged strip with the dry-aged prime New York strip, lobster imperial sauce with roasted Brussels sprouts with a chili glaze. Suggested wine pairing is a Turnbull Cabernet out of Napa. In our dessert feature this weekend, strawberry shortcake tiramisu with the ladyfinger soaked in sweet milk, whipped cream, custard, and fresh strawberries. Outstanding over here at Rufino's.
Live at Rufino's. Live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and ThibodeauStore.com. Listen, spring right around the corner, so you start making preparations for some of those things you're going to do. Maybe you're in the garden. Some of the seed starting potting soil is available now on the website at big discounts. If you've got a lot of this stuff that you need to spread once the cold has moved on, get it now and save a bunch of money. Also, your power washing equipment from DeWalt is on special right now on the website too, so you can get those items. big green egg cookers like Jimmy ordered a couple of weeks ago. The ultimate cooking experience, tons of grills, jambalaya and crawfish pots. So get ready for spring. And a lot of these items, not all of them, but a lot of these items are available for free delivery if you go to ThibodeauStore.com. Looking for lumber? That's out of their sister property, the Pierre Part store. Celebrated their 113th year anniversary last year, so they know what they're doing. Get those specials advantage right now. 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodaux, and online it's ThibodeauStore.com.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer. ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Give my friends at River City's 1 Hour AC and Heating a call today. For a limited time, schedule your heater safety inspection and tune-up and receive $30 off. 1 Hour AC and Heating will get your central heat in safe, efficient, tip-top shape for the cool weather. And don't forget the Moscona special, saving you $25 on any cooling or heating repair. Call River City's 1 Hour AC and Heating today, 752-0001. That's 1 Hour AC, 752-0001.
Now, everybody's been to Louis Cafe by campus. Heck, it's been around since over 80 years now. We're still doing delicious omelets like the Mitchell, cheesy grits, Big Cheesy Lou, and those Louis' original Cajun hash browns. We now offer a pickup window. Just call in your order at 346-8221. Give us 15 or 20 minutes. We'll have it ready for you. Our hours are now 6:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., 7 days a week. So next time you visit campus, make it a point to stop by and visit an old friend. Louis Cafe, just outside the north gates of LSU.
Take a swing around the parish to one of Breck's 5 golf courses, 2 championship courses, Santa Maria and Beaver Creek, and 3 courses for the more casual golfers, the popular 18-hole Webb Park, and 2 9-hole courses, City Park and the newly renovated J.S. Clark. Breck's courses are designed to challenge every level of golfer from beginner to pro. So come and get into the swing of things. Book your tee time online or find a course near you at golf.breck.org. That's golf.breck.org.
Are you experiencing fatigue, low libido, and muscle loss? At Rejuvenate Medical, we specialize in medically monitored hormone replacement therapy. Begin your journey to a better you. RejuvenateMedical.com. That's REJUVIME medical.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Don Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 1045 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Scott, San Diego, Chris Massaro, who is from San Diego, but it's a Boston native. Well, you talked to some of your boys back home, man. The atmosphere seemed awesome, Chris. And listen, I mean, you know, us watching hockey is kind of trying to dissect Chinese arithmetic to a degree, but we know them cats were after it. And what a great atmosphere last night at Boston.
Yeah, I concur 100%, and it's just one of the cooler things is that so many of the guys on the U.S. team have such deep connections to either Boston or because they played college hockey there, or they grew up in Massachusetts, or even have Marchand on the Canadian team who plays for the Bruins. It's just the connection. Like Mike Sullivan, the head coach, he's grew up down the South Shore in Marshfield and Hingham. And, he's been a legendary coach for the Penguins. And there's just so many different connections, and the guys all coming back and to have the game in Boston. Unfortunately, they didn't win. But, I had a few buddies there at the game. I seen a lot of videos, a lot of cool stuff, a lot of patriotic stuff. It was a great night, except for the fact they didn't pull it off. And I have a couple buddies that I know live down the Cape where the Kachuk brothers' dad, Keith Kachuk, who played for, St. Louis, Winnipeg, Phoenix for all those years, only one of a few guys, American-born players that have 500 goals. They get to play golf with him a bunch. So pretty cool. I've got some great stories from my buddies about both Matthew and Brady. So even though I've never met them or hung out with them, I feel like I kind of like a little bit part of my thing. So awesome night. Hopefully they can figure out a way to do it either every year, every other year, maybe include the Russians. But yeah, it was what a great tournament. I think it kind of united the country. It was great.
Yeah, there's no doubt, man. It was pretty cool. Were you what'd you think about when you were watching it during the game? It was kind of a flip of the coin game, huh? I mean, did you really couldn't tell who was at the Canadians? You jump out early and say, okay, well, all right, they're going to revenge spot. They're going to, turn it up. And I don't know, man. And they had a lot of the possessions. They had more shots on goal and more possession time, in the Americans' zone. And then it started flipping the other way. And certainly in overtime, the Americans had their chances. That's what it looked like to us.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like in the first period, Canada definitely had the advantage. It looked like U.S. wasn't going to even have any attempts on goal, and then they got the late goal to tie it up, and then they go to intermission, and the U.S. comes out like they were on melatonin during the break. They had nothing going on. Canada had the first 9 shots of the second period, but the Bruins were able to get. The U.S. was able to get the lead. 2-1. They committed kind of a stupid penalty, but they get to the third up 2-1. They tie it up. It seemed like there were waves of the game where it was like 6 minutes or so where the U.S. dominated or then Canada dominated. And like you said, in overtime, the U.S. totally dominated, but you see that often in overtime hockey where one team gets so many opportunities to score, they're not able to do it. Binnington stood on his head, and then they get the one opportunity the other way. And you see that happen all the time. You get all those opportunities, and the other team comes down and scores. So you can't really say anything bad about it. It was an exciting game, overtime, the best players in the world. It was just fantastic.
All right, let's get to college basketball. We got a good one tonight, Michigan and Michigan State. Dusty May doing a good job in this. So you can see, first-year coaches, how did those teams improve over the course of the season? They're playing better ball as of late. Michigan State doing their thing as well. So 2.5 at home tonight. What's your thoughts on tonight's matchup?
Yeah, I played a little Michigan State last night at +3. I'm not taking anything away from Michigan. They're having an absolutely great season. The net loves them. They're top 20 almost, I think, in both offense and defensive efficiency. They get the big guy Wolf, who's just do everything. Offensive rebounder, shooter. He's just a great player. But if you look at Michigan's last 9 games, they had an overtime loss way back against Minnesota. They had an overtime win against Northwestern. Then they were blown out by Purdue. Since then, they've had 6 straight wins. But if you look closely, they've only won the 6 games by a total of 19 points, none more than 4 points. Not exactly a murderer's row. They beat Penn State, Rutgers, and Oregon. And then in the Indiana game, that game was tied or 59-58 with 3 minutes to go. They end up pulling that one out. The Purdue game, they were down by 8 with 10 minutes to go. They pulled that one out. And then the Ohio State game on Sunday was total toss-up. Bruce Thornton misses basically a layup. He airballs a 2-foot layup with 2 seconds to go. So these games could have gone either way. It just seems like Michigan is just having a little bit of a luck factor. I think that the Michigan State defense, they get some bigs down low that they're going to be able to thwart the big guy from Michigan a little bit. And I just think, Dusty May, he's having a great season, but it's his first year coming into a huge rivalry, Michigan State. I think Izzo is going to have a little bit of pride here, and I like the 3 points in a game that's probably going to go down to the wire again, as all the Michigan games have.
What's your thoughts on Wolf and how they use him? Because he's basically he's basically a point center. I mean, then they have the 2 7-footers, he and Golden, but they like to put him out and ISO him and sort of let him create. Now he loves to pass, but before I weigh in, but what's your thoughts on him and how May uses him?
Well, I don't want to give him too much high praise, but I mean, I definitely think he's going to be an NBA player. He has the range for 3-point land, and he's not afraid to get down low and rebound as well. And like you said, he's just like a point forward. He's almost like a Nowitzki or a Bird type of big player that's able to see the floor. One, because he's tall, and two, he's got instinctive to make the right passes. And when you get a good coach like me utilizing him as well. And I listened to a podcast last night saying that May has been so good drawing up these plays in the last minute of games that they are getting a little bit lucky and are winning some games by close margins, 3 points or less. But it's because the ability of May and maybe the ability of Wolf as being a combo as both really intelligent people to make the right read and make the right pass and draw up the right play late in the game. So, I mean, like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Michigan. I just think the luck factor might run out, and 3 points is a little much in a big rivalry with Izzo. So give me the 3 with Sparty tonight.
I think we might be on opposite sides on this one. I think that Michigan is improving because of it. And there's no doubt. You play enough close games, you're going to lose some eventually. But I just think that when I'm watching them, it was a game that really stuck out to me, the Northwestern game, where they were favored by a substantial amount, and it was another one of those 50-50 games that they pulled out at the end. Like, why do they keep running through this damn clumsy-ass white boy? I mean, he is dribbling off his shins. He's turning over left and right. I mean, it's over. Well, he does. And Chris, for the season, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. He's turned the ball over every bit as much as he had assists. So that's not – but he does have this – some people get bothered with unique, at least a distinct set where he is a big guy. He does have good handles, and he loves to pass. And so he can, and maybe I think that part of it is getting more smoother. The execution of that is getting a little smoother over the course of the season because it was flat out clumsy earlier in the season. I'm like, why is he forcing this? And I'm starting to see why a little bit. And I think it's got something to do with it, that comfort level of being, because he'll put it on you. You better be ready for your pass because he will put it on you, and it's coming hot when it comes. So I don't know. He's just a real unique skill set that, and I thought it was overused early, that I think I'm starting to see why he was trying to get this thing to perform at a higher level of execution.
Well, we'll have to see tonight. I'm sticking with my play, and it's going to be a great game. I mean, Michigan State kind of, they were a little, they're kind of heating up right now. They had 2 good wins over Illinois and Purdue. I just think they got the bigs to handle the Michigan's been getting a lot of second chance points, and I think the bigs for Michigan State were going to kind of negate that a little bit, and we'll see. It's a really good game to have on a Friday night. I'm excited to watch.
There's no doubt. Golden is highly efficient. I mean, 64% from the field. When he does go out and shoot an occasional 3, 45%. So, I mean, he's really, and you talk about the second chance points. He's been doing a lot of that as well. Chris, your angle last week, and how about that with Minnesota down big early? UCLA, after some extensive travel, comes back home, but in a spot where they're a double-digit favorite, so they're not exactly thrilled or motivated with the matchup in sort of an XL spot. Not only does Minnesota come back and backdoor cover, they come back and win the game. UCLA really brutal at the line coming down, but everybody's chomping at the bit. We don't have those situations because where all of the everything falls into play for this, for this system, for this angle. But a couple of road weary teams coming back home, Houston and Minnesota tomorrow.
Yeah, I really the one that jumped off the page for me was the Houston-Iowa State game. Now, Houston, again, we're not taking anything away from them. They've had a great game. They nipped me last week with my Arizona play, even though Arizona was up 5 with like 4 minutes to go. And I went and brushed my teeth. I come back. We're down 7. I didn't know what happened. Oh, my God. But so Houston, they just took care of business in Arizona. They beat, as I mentioned, the Wildcats and the Sun Devils Tuesday night. So they're coming back. And Ken Palm has this game as Houston -9. This Milan Momcilovic, who just came back from Iowa State, the Cyclones are 18-1 with him. They're 3-4 without. So he missed that little stretch where they lost 3 in a row. He's averaging 10.4, 3.2 rebounds, a 6'8" sophomore forward. Really good player, makes everything run for Iowa State. So this game jumped out at me because Iowa State buried Houston in the Big 12 tournament last year. And I feel like based on the travel angle, based on the fact Iowa State's healthy, and based on the state that Iowa State's a damn good basketball team, top 10 in both, offensive and defensive efficiency on the KenPom rating, I could see this game going down to the wire. You can give me the 9 points if I can get it. That's great. I hope the line comes out that high.
7.5.
I'm thinking that Iowa State has a decent chance to win. This game. So 7.5. They're smarter than I thought. But yeah, I just think this is a game where Iowa State might have a chance to win it at the end.
All right, Minnesota in Penn State. Penn State smashed. Who was at the midweek this week? That was
Nebraska.
Nebraska. Nebraska fell behind against Northwestern, came all the way back. They didn't come back in this one at Penn State. Minnesota getting better, and it's handwriting on the wall with the UCLA coach and getting ready to the former Cincinnati coach and drawing a blank, wanting to get the hell out of there. I mean, he's complaining about the travel.
Cronin?
Yeah, Cronin. I mean, he's killing his team. I mean, being sarcastic now. Oh, no, never. We talked about Garcia trying to attack his left side. And it's he has been.
You go talk to Lincoln Riley. He took that job without ever thinking that this is something that he would have to deal with.
Well, Lincoln Riley had offers in the SEC and went to the Pac-12. And oh, wait, I'm in the Big Ten now. Yeah.
Never expected to be.
Yeah. So, Minnesota, Penn State, what's your angle there?
Well, it's the same type of thing as we just saw. Minnesota, obviously, a great week, probably the best week in basketball they've had in a while. They swept the LA trip, beat USC, great comeback on Saturday, and then they beat UCLA on Tuesday, another amazing comeback. So they're out there, West Coast, travel spot. Now they're going to fly back. Now, this is a weird game because Penn State, off a nice win against Nebraska where the offense is humming. Can they get their first road win? Well, the spread says they probably can because Minnesota, I saw in KenPom, is -2. So I'm going to lean to Penn State here just off the ridiculous week Minnesota had. There's nothing more than a letdown. You're just out in sunny Southern California. Now you're coming back to Minnesota to play sleepy old Penn State, who doesn't have a road win all year. So it's just a spot play. I would never usually be betting Penn State on the road, but I think it's just a perfect opportunity to sell high on the Minnesota team that just pulled off 2 ridiculous wins on the West Coast.
All right. Anything else that you like tomorrow for the full slate of college basketball?
I got a couple hold your nose plays. There's Virginia Tech who scored 36 points. That's correct, 36 in a total game versus Boston College the other night. They're heading down to South Beach or Coral Gables to face Miami. Now, Miami is 2-13 the last 15 games, but Miami's favored. So I just think if Virginia Tech has any chutzpah at all, they're going to have to show up and play a little bit better than they played against Boston College. Because 36 points is completely embarrassing. Boston College is one of the worst defensive teams in the country, and to only score 36 points against them is, like I said, it's just kind of a joke. So I'm going to say hold your nose play, take Virginia Tech on the road, getting 2 points. There's also a bunch of other regular spot plays where you got Missouri going to Arkansas off the big win. You might want to look at Arkansas.
Yeah.
You got Texas going to South Carolina. Is South Carolina going to go undefeated? Go defeated in the SEC? Might be their only chance for a win. Same thing with the angled Mississippi State off the big win against A&M. They're going to Oklahoma. There's just a lot of different spot plays. I'm not sure if I'm going to play them all because those ones haven't been working as well this year as in previous years. I really like the travel plays a little bit more.
And there's no doubt, Arizona play against Houston was tough beat. In control for most of that game. That was tough beat. They went to Provo and won by double digits handily. They might pop BYU coming off of a little spot as well in their big win over Kansas.
Hey, I'll give you one, Jimmy. That BYU team going to Arizona. Arizona seems to play a higher pace of play when they play at home than they do on the road.
Yes.
And this BYU team, they do not defend deep into the shot clock.
Right.
And Arizona's 44th in tempo. So I look for that game to be a little bit faster pace. And if BYU gets behind, they're going to be bombing threes the whole game. I saw 153 as a KenPom total. I'm going to probably look to go over in that game.
Arizona and the over in that game. Good luck to you, Chris. Great stuff as always. Thank you, buddy.
All right, thanks, Jimmy. Talk to you guys later.
All right, don't forget our friends at Legacy Title. Chad Reynolds, a Legacy Title for all of you real estate closings. 296-0060, full-service title company servicing all of South Louisiana. Fast, friendly, professional services, what you get when you dial 296-0060. Our great staff over at Legacy Title. Ashley Donald, Mariana Haynes, Adrian Galata, Michael Platt. Buying, building, refinancing, nobody chooses but you. Choose Chad Reynolds and Legacy Title, 296-0060. Come on, Ventura, missing the 3. Damn it.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch. A little golf thrown in. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Get Moss, Max, and less text during happy hour at Modesto. Join us Tuesday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. for $10 20-ounce margaritas and Dip Trio with $5 drink specials and $6 seasonal cocktails. Eat Modesto, 3930 Burbank Drive.
Pizza that's true to its hand-tossed wood-fried tradition. Roca Pizzeria is heating up its new half-off happy hour, Monday through Fridays, 3 to 6 p.m. Come enjoy 50% off margarita, pepperoni, or cheese, craft cocktails, wine by the glass, and draft beer. Roca Pizzeria, 3897 Government.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
Need more space? Workbox LLC has the storage solutions you can count on. Whether you're a homeowner, commercial contractor, or industrial business, we have the space for you. Our secure, versatile storage units are ready to meet your needs. Contractors, keep your site organized and efficient. Store your materials with us and access them anytime you need. Businesses, industries of any size, Workbox LLC is your trusted partner for flexible, safe storage. Workbox 343-4886 and workboxllc.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Looking for a driving experience that goes beyond the ordinary? At Genesis of Baton Rouge, luxury is more than just a word. It's our promise to you. From cutting-edge technology to premium craftsmanship, Genesis vehicles are designed for those who demand excellence. Whether it's performance, comfort, or style, we offer it all, tailored just for you. At Genesis of Baton Rouge, your journey starts with a personalized buying experience. Let us introduce you to the future of driving. Visit us today at Genesis of Baton Rouge, where luxury and performance meet, on Airline across from Women's Hospital, or at genesisofbatonrouge.com.
There's never been a better time than now to get out of those contacts, glasses, or readers. LASIK is one option, but you'll find even more vision correction procedures at the Williamson Eye Center. Learn about all of the vision correction surgery options and which one is best for you with a free consultation. Call 924-2020 or visit williamsoneye.com, where you can even schedule online. Williamson Eye Center, now 8 locations to serve you around the greater Baton Rouge area. Schedule online, williamsoneye.com.
The Bridge Center for Hope opened its doors February the 11th, 2021. Our goal was simple: to help individuals who were experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis without barrier, stigma, or judgment. During this time, we have helped thousands reach their road to recovery. Thank you for allowing us to be your crisis provider. The Bridge Center for Hope. We're not a hospital, but we will treat you like it's an emergency. For more information, please visit brbridge.org.
The new location of Los Reyes Mexican Grill on Wesley across from Mike Anderson's. Man, the place looks great. Lots of indoor and outdoor seating options with plenty of big TVs to watch all your favorite games. All of the traditional Mexican cuisine with a great happy hour, 2:30 to 6:30, 7 days a week. Plus $5 margaritas all day, all night on Wednesdays. Great spot to bring the baseball team in between games, just 5 minutes north of Traction and 5 minutes south of LSU. Los Reyes Mexican Grill, 1072 West Lee, near Nicholson.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to trashrangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's trashrangers.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Jimmy, Charlie, and Troy. Three best buddies sitting around talking sports bets. Let's welcome in Troy Macker from Bet Rivers.
Troy out on assignment this weekend, holding Max's hands in the Big Apple. So let's get a report. See how Country Come to Town's doing. How's the little apple?
They got overtime last night.
The little praline doing in the Big Apple, Troy. Give us a report on the social side of the group, huh?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, Max is not dressed for the weather. I can tell you that. He's wearing last night he was wearing a bright purple LSU dugout jacket, and it's about 10 degrees and snow. So he didn't have a hat or gloves. But we only have to use those once every 9 years, so I'm not surprised by that. No, it's been good. Went to Madison Square Garden last night to see the Knicks not cover 12.5. I had to force overtime against the Bulls. But Max has been soaking it up. As soon as he got off the bus from the airport, went and got a full pizza pie. I think he's going to Sbarro today, so he's living it up. Did some touristy things, but he also flew in early, so he's getting the full experience.
Did y'all get to go and check out the hockey after the Knicks game last night?
Yeah, and we were lucky enough to be sitting in seats that had TVs in front of us. So while we were watching a listless second quarter, we were watching the first period of the hockey game right in front of us, and then we went to a local establishment right around the corner to watch the overtime period. And I can tell you that New York City is a great place to watch a U.S. sporting event, and the place was packed with everyone chanting USA for the last 10 minutes or so of overtime before Connor McDavid netted one to give Canada the win.
I mean, one of those shots in overtime was supposed to go in by the U.S., huh, Troy?
Yeah. They had a couple really good onslaughts, but they were, shots from out pretty deep, and they were definitely putting pucks on net, which is something, hockey people talk about all the time. You just need to put a puck on net, and it could go in. You get a bounce. And they weren't getting the bounces. But it was such a competitive game back and forth. I mean, there were opportunities in the last 5 minutes in overtime for both teams. And the goaltending was very good down the stretch.
So Michigan and Michigan State tonight. We talked about it with our previous guest and Chris Massero. You watch this guy Wolf, the 7-footer? Dusty May's got dueling 7-footers, and he and Golden, and it's been a little clumsy at times. What's your thoughts on it? How much have you watched them? And they're 12-0 at home, 5 at home in the Big Ten, but close ones. After they beat Washington by 16, they won by 4, and 2 points. And Michigan State is one of the better teams, better than most of those teams that they just squeaked by. But what's your thoughts on watching Michigan, especially how they utilize Wolf?
Yeah, I was out on Michigan to start the season. It was very much a wait and see because of the new coach, new culture, certainly bringing in players like Vlad Golden from Florida Atlantic, who was very good. And they have exceeded expectations. Dusty May has done an exceptional job. I think they are not as good as people think. I think they're at the bottom of the elite class of the Big Ten, but I think there is a gap in between the top of the second tier where like Oregon resides. But I'm very high on Michigan State. It's hard not to be at this time of year with Izzo, and it has a culture of players that is a very Michigan State type team. But I wonder, coming off that, high level elite game against Purdue, will they have the energy against Michigan? You say, how can you not? It's a rivalry game, Friday night, essentially standalone game. It should be very close. I'd probably lean Michigan State a little bit here. They're 2.5-point underdogs. I'd probably take them to cover. And honestly, at that point in a rivalry game, I might just take the plus 123 on the money line. But I think having two bigs, back to your point, can be tricky business because unless one can really stretch the floor, it can be tough. You don't see two bigs a lot, but it has worked for them in spots. And I think Michigan can be a dangerous team in March, but I think they're punching a little bit above their weight class, so to speak.
Charlie, what I'm talking about, I don't know how closely you watch Michigan, but when you have a point center, basically, I mean, he's a big, thick guy. He can handle the ball better than most 7-footers of his size. But speaking, they're in turnover rate, they're 330 something. So I mean, they have, it's improved, and this is part of the and what are you going to do? You got two 7-footers. You have them both on a block. I mean, it's so May is sort of experience. It's just really different looking. And sometimes he can really make the pass that you just don't see, that opposing teams don't see often. And sometimes he's dribbling it off his thigh, for a turnover.
Well, a couple things stand out to me about him. Number one, he makes enough threes to make you guard him, okay? It's not like he's a sharpshooter, but he makes enough. He doesn't shoot a ton of them, but he makes enough. The other thing is he's a really, really strong offensive rebounder.
Wolf will bang. He will bang now.
He'll go in there and he'll get a lot of putbacks. So those are the things that work. The things that don't work, you've already talked about. So I understand what they're trying to do with him. It's creative. Is it enough to make a deep run? And these two teams are going to play each other twice in the next 2 weeks. They finish up in East Lansing to finish this season. So it kind of feels like one of those, the home team's going to win a 1 or 2 possession game both times. If I could kind of look ahead.
So yeah, it's what I'm talking about, the rare, and he's getting better in the assist department, but he's still just a shade behind a guard, but he's second on the team in assists, but clearly he's averaging double-digit rebounds. So yeah, he will bang.
A lot of those on the offensive end.
Yeah, how many of the 10 does he average?
He leads the team. I don't know exactly what the number is, but I know he leads the team by a significant margin. On the offensive
rebounds, 2 of his 10. 2 of his 10.
That's it.
Yeah,
it's just
2 of his 10 per game. So,
that leads them.
yeah. I mean, yes. But 10 is a lot to average. You got some of the lines starting to trickle out. Troy, you got. How about this one where you are in Madison Square Garden, where you were last night? Duke and Illinois. What would you think that? Have you seen it already, or what do you think that line would be?
No, that's one of the ones I have not seen yet that I've been looking for. It should be, by the time I refresh that Rivers at the end of this, it should be up there. If I had to guess, is it Duke minus 9.5? I would say Illinois has not beaten a lot of credible teams in the last month and a half. They've beaten that second tier in the Big Ten. Duke is elite of the elite, right up there with Auburn. And Madison Square Garden is home away from home for Duke. It's probably the most played at venue outside of Cameron Indoor. So I would think it's like 9.5 if I had to guess.
Good job, 10.5. So right there. We're up against the clock. I know you want to get back to your travel schedule, but how strong was the hockey handle last night?
It was bigger than all but 2 games of last year's Stanley Cup final in terms of total money, and those were Game 6 and Game 7. That now rates as the 3rd most wagered on hockey game since January 1st of 2024. It was like 5th in total tickets, dating back to January 1st of last year. And because obviously we're going to take more money on the USA than Canada. That's obviously people bet with their heart, got to rep the USA. But the sportsbook was only up mid to low 6 figures, so it was a win for us. But and nearly 40% of all the tickets wagered were live. So that was one thing. I thought this game could reach top tier in terms of betting if it were close. And it was close the whole game. So people were very invested in the live betting.
Get back to your travel schedule. Get Max back home in one piece and have some fun, man. We'll see you on Monday. Thank you, Troy. Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys. Talk to you then.
United Community Bank, your business is our business. We support the hardworking force behind local business. From initial start loans to ongoing planning and assessments, United Community Bank is here for you. Contact our great team of bankers, Heath Meir, Nicole Glover, Hunter Creed, David Campbell, David Henry, and Prentice Wilkes. United Community Bank, with locations from Baton Rouge to Golden Meadow. We've been serving the people of South Louisiana for over 50 years. United Community Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Do you wake up with back pain? Does your neck hurt while working at your desk? Have headaches? Or maybe your shoulder hurts while lifting? Or your knee hurts when you run? Hi, I'm Robbie Bolton, owner of Evolve Physical Therapy and Sports, and my team fixes these types of issues every day. We use our hands to manipulate and stretch you back to a pain-free lifestyle. Come in for a free assessment today and see how we are changing the way therapy is done in Baton Rouge.
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners. When it comes to retirement, there are no two situations alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you, your business partners, your legal team, and tax professionals to make sure those goals are achieved. Coastal Capital Advisors will work for you. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his great staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory service provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Edge Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
Community banks touch every corner of our lives. They support us as we turn life's goals into accomplishments. Goals like going to college, opening a small business, buying a home, planning a wedding, or having a baby. From your first car to a new life after retirement, Landmark Bank is here for all of life's milestones. At Landmark Bank, we can provide you with various solutions through personal and business checking, savings, loans, and competitive CD rates. Let's get started. Call me, Jennifer Knapp, at 225-719-1578.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Jake and T-Bob here, and when it comes to roof replacements and repairs, there's a #1 top-rated roofer you need to know, Pelican Roofing.
Pelican Roofing has literally hundreds of 5-star reviews and was the recipient of the 2019 Better Business Bureau Integrity Award. Hey, we know there are a lot of roofing companies, but there's only one, Pelican Roofing.
And Baton Rouge and Lafayette and all the surrounding areas, they even offer 0% financing for those who qualify. Call for your free estimate at 225-228-2865 or visit pelicanroof.com.
This is Charles Hanniger for Home Bank. Grow your nest egg savings with a great CD rate from Home Bank. For a limited time, you can earn 4.25% annual percentage yield, and you get to choose the term. Pick 3, 7, or 11 months and get this excellent return on your savings. The minimum balance is only $2,500. It really is that simple. Stop by any South Louisiana Home Bank location and speak with a local banker today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, member FDIC.
Let's face it, life throws you curveballs. At Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness, we help you stand tall. Whether you're facing ED or battling low T, we've got the solutions to help you regain the oomph you need. Goodwood is your partner in men's sexual wellness. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
You've heard me talk about GiveMeTheVin.com for years, but wait till you hear what our customer said about GiveMeTheVin.com buyer Mike.
Excellent experience with the company. Mike was my point man, and he made everything as smooth as possible. Even though I hit a few snags on my end, he was patient, and we made a deal. It was hassle-free, and I would not hesitate to sell another car to GiveMeTheVin.com again.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Golf Tech of Baton Rouge is transforming your golf game. Conveniently located in Town Center, Golf Tech offers indoor lessons, club fitting, club sales, dedicated coaches, and more. Your one-stop shop for a better golf game. It's a new year. You should have a new game. Go to golftech.com today to be the rock star of your golf group.
Do you have a big business, small business, or nonprofit? Whether your business is planning its next big step or just taking its first, you can benefit from Gulf Coast Bank and Trust's knowledgeable bankers, their personal service, and business solutions. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Jake and James, the Trash Rangers. Do you need one more reason to switch your residential trash pickup? How about $13.95 a month for the first few months? Go to trashrangers.com and make the switch today.
Buying or selling a home in Baton Rouge, Mid-City Title makes closing easy. Mobile closings, expert services, midcitytitle.com.
Live at lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
GM Joe making moves up in Cincinnati. Bengals cut Sheldon Rankins. Once upon a time was a first-round pick of the Saints. Saves them a little under $10 million on the salary cap. He gonna get what he wants, Jimmy. He gonna get those guys. He's gonna He's gonna get Higgins. He's gonna get Hendrickson. He's gonna get Chase and him. They're all gonna get paid. I don't know what's going to be left after all of those guys get paid, but we see this more in basketball, but the lead player actually being the GM, like I said, we see this a lot in basketball, but this is, even Mahomes doesn't really, finagle too much with the salary cap in Kansas City or Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson. This is Burrow taking over, admittedly, a very weak front office and saying, this is what I want.
Very weak organization.
Yeah.
And he's throwing his demands around. I'm not crazy about it, to be honest. I think it's counterproductive to publicize, some of the sort of these things, but this is how he's putting pressure on him. I would have, accepted his input privately as opposed to publicly. I don't think it helps anyway.
I would have too. Be interesting to see how this experiment goes. Sheldon Rankin's out in Cincinnati. We're back with hour number 2 here at Rufino's on Highland Road. Come by and see us for lunch. Live at lunch 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Water is water, right? Not when it's Evermore. Smooth tasting Evermore water is Mother Nature's masterpiece. Evermore is natural artesian water. Maybe you want a healthier lifestyle, a high-end athlete who wants better hydration, or a parent who wants something healthier for their kids. You want Evermore. EVAMOR. Evermore. Available at great local retailers.
The Pierre Part Store, and now the Thibodeau Store, your local experts in construction supplies. You know, they can handle your contractor supplies for all jobs, big and small. The extensive selection of plumbing, electrical, and hardware supplies are endless, and they can even deliver it to your job site. If you need lumber, no problem. Available for pickup and delivery from Pierre Part. Top-notch tools and expert advice, it's local service. From the Thibodeau Store, 900 St. Patrick Highway in Thibodeau, and online at thibodeaustore.com.
Looking for some time away but don't want to go too far? The Cook Hotel at LSU is just what you've been searching for. Book your getaway today and enjoy a peaceful escape overlooking the University Lake in any of their luxurious guest rooms or suites. Their newly renovated bar is back open for service, and they're located near some of the best restaurants in town. Visit thecookhotel.com or call 225-383-2665 to book your stay today.
Majestic Metals is located in Sorrento with over 60 years experience in the pre-engineered metal building industry. Majestic Metals is the leading metal roofing manufacturer with high-quality products, superior customer service, and a fast turnaround. We offer both commercial and residential roofing, including a standing seam panel in a variety of colors with a 40-year paint warranty. A metal roof can add value to your home and is energy efficient. Call Majestic Metals at 225-675-3800 and talk to our knowledgeable sales staff for all your commercial and residential needs. Visit us on the web at majesticmetalsinc.com.
As football winds down, college basketball is gearing up. Fans are ready to see which teams will prove they are ready to shine in March and who will be seen in San Antonio. You can get on all the action from tip-off to the final whistle at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Right now, new ESPN Bet Sportsbook customers can bet $10 to get $100 in bonus bets and unlock 30 days of ESPN Plus. Download the app and sign up with the promo code RADIO100 to get started today. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 in partnership with LeBares Lake Charles. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
By now, you know that we do our show every other Tuesday at the Crowntown Room at Dozie's Place. The Crowntown Room is ideal for larger groups, or if you just want to watch the game on one of our 3 large TVs. The tamales are the most popular appetizer, but don't forget the seared tuna with the sriracha glaze for the perfect blend of sweet and spicy. You can't go wrong also with the flash fried oysters or the shrimp. The porterhouse is the perfect steak to share. Strip on one side, filet on the other, prepared at different temps if you like, bone in to maximize flavor. Dozie Place on Government Street, just off Acadian in the heart of Mid-City.
Join us for the 30th Annual Crew of Diversion Mardi Gras Boat Parade, a spectacular event benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital.
Set sail on February 22nd at noon as colorful boats dressed for Mardi Gras cruise the Amite River.
Registration is at Manny's Bar in Maurepas.
Friday, February 21st at 6 p.m.
Secure your spot for just $35 a boat.
Stick around after the parade for the live auction at Manny's for more Mardi Gras fun.
It's brought to you by Louisiana Friends Against Childhood Cancer.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill, when your friend bets against your team and the friendship. Or choose chill because you're drinking Coors Light with your buddy. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Insurance companies have teams of professionals to fight your claim. If you want to know what your case is really worth, I'm Spencer Callahan. I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7970.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers, LA 21 12681. Offices in Baton Rouge. Live at lunch with Otten Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All right, time to bring in Bruce Marshall, Well, former executive editor of the Gold Sheet, we miss those. We miss those days when we could use your point spread values to project at college football lines back in the day. Bruce was where I was. I did a game. I used to do the play-by-play for the Southern Jaguars. One of my trips was San Luis Obispo, Charlie. Remember that? Huh?
Yeah, I had to pay for it. I remember that.
Yes, indeed. And how was it? And I think it was our team, UC San Diego, was at Cal Poly Slow last night. Bruce, how was San Luis Obispo?
Oh, it's great. I had never been to a game there, even at San Luis Obispo, even though
it's a gym.
My brother went to school there. My sister-in-law, that's where they met, and my nephew all went there. But I'd never been to a game. But it's a nice. The campus is really nice, and they got like this big beach volleyball thing outside of the gym there, so it's a little bit different. But the atmosphere is actually pretty good in there. I mean, Cal Poly is kind of exciting this year, but UCSD is very good. And you can see them rolling along, 23-4 now. Great point spread record, one of the best in the country. They do a lot of things well. And Cal Poly came at them last night. A lot of three-pointers in the game. That's one thing UCSD. It's an effective, five-guard offense they use. I mean, everybody's sort of the same. But they ended up pulling away, and they got another point spread cover last night. And they now take the lead in the Big West. It's sort of aiming toward a UCSD-UC Irvine showdown probably in the Big West tournament, although Northridge did upset Irvine last night in Irvine. So we might have another contender in the Big West tournament coming up. But I think UCSD is probably the favorite. This is a good little team. I'm not sure what they can do in the dance if they get in there, but they could be an awkward first-round foe because they shoot so well. And if they hit these threes, I mean, like a lot of teams, they'll have a chance.
Well, Bruce, before we get to the hockey and all the things and weekend basketball and all that, the kids from Tuscaloosa are leaning on all of my resources for some lines on tonight's intramural boxing match on campus. EJ's roommate, Lucas Schramm, the middleweight boxing match against Birmingham's George Kane. Huh? Bruce, any expert? I'm leaning on you. I mean, only you can give me Cal Poly Slow. And where was that other gym you went to? There's about 6 people in watching it somewhere in Florida, but anything on the boxing match tonight?
Yeah, Stetson. It was. They didn't have a lot of people on that one either. I'm leaning on you and Ethan for this one, but I'll take the Alabama. Yeah, Luke Kane. Is that it? Yeah.
You going with Kane plus 45 against Schramm?
Carlos Monzon in the making, maybe. So let's go that way. Let's take the Bama kid.
I'm gonna. Well, they're both from Bama, so I mean they're bad.
Oh, they're both from Bama.
Yes,
okay.
Yes. One's from Baton Rouge and one's from Birmingham. So.
Well, I'll take the Baton Rouge kid then.
Hey, come on, you gotta have a little bit more grit. Could be a little enemy territory.
LSU's done
a little bit of a road bout here, but Lucas opened up $1.35. Been up to $1.75. So getting the public support right now, Charlie.
LSU's won more games in the football teams won more games in Tuscaloosa than they have in Baton Rouge the last 20 years.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
I still talk about Bear Bryant's first game he ever coached was against the 58 Tigers in Mobile. I ran into a guy at the Beau Rivage, and he says, "Yes, this guy's old." He said the bleachers in the end zone collapsed. I said, "You know that too?" I said, "Ain't many people alive that still remember that."
Yeah.
So they brought in extra bleachers, portable end zone bleachers, because there was some excitement with Bear Bryant coming back. But that was LSU's national championship team, their first one in 1958. And Brucey, my dad, they beat them 13-3. I mean, he said, "Look, they shaking hands with the Alabama players. Said, look, you guys keep hitting like that, y'all going to win some games." It said, Coach Brown didn't think so. Practice full pads tomorrow on campus, 7 a.m. So he was trying to lay the foundation, like being competitive was not good enough. I wonder if the Kachucks were practicing in full pads this morning, at 7 a.m. I mean, Bruce, I know you're like us. I mean, this hockey exhibition tournament completely it gives us renewed hope that they care, even though something besides the money. There's some pride involved in the sport that they participate, and in the same sense, completely embarrasses the NBA.
Yeah, and I wonder, Jimmy, and we touched upon this briefly before, and you were watching that last night, I know. But if the NHL has given a blueprint for All-Star games, at least for the NBA, I mean, the NFL is also, long gone with what it's done with the Pro Bowl and all. But the NBA might want to, and we've seen this mentioned in the media, and they might want to consider a format like this with the USA versus the world sort of thing for their All-Star game. It's going to be a little bit of a manufactured thing, but what the heck? I mean, the NBA All-Star Weekend, the competitive portion of it now has turned into just sort of a circus, and I would not be surprised if Adam Silver takes a lead from Gary Bettman this time and actually institutes something like that, some sort of an international thing for the All-Star game in the NBA. Otherwise, I think they ought to just do away with the NBA All-Star. I didn't watch a whit of it last weekend, and I know a lot of people who watch the NBA didn't either. But like the NHL fans who were tuned in to the Four Nations, that was a brilliant idea. And I could see they wouldn't have a tournament like that probably in the NBA, just a one game USA in the world. That might be the way to go. We'll see.
So, okay, brilliant idea. But did you think it would be this good, Bruce? Now, listen, you got a great game too, with a lot of drama, a lot on the line. It was certainly competitive. Did you think it would be this good?
Not quite this good. I thought it'd be good. I mean, this turned out to be really crackling though. But it reminds me, Jimmy, when they had, the NHL players, and they weren't playing in the last Olympics, but there were a couple Olympics before that. A couple of the Olympic ice hockey tournaments in recent memory, especially that one up in Vancouver in 2010. That's about as good at international hockey as I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I thought last night had the potential. They didn't have all the countries in there. You didn't have Russia, didn't have the Czechs, but Finland, Sweden, USA, Canada, that's a pretty good foursome. So we've seen this before in hockey like that, but it did, I thought it'd be good, but it was even better than I thought.
The hockey can be good every year. I think the political thing, and we don't do that much here, but listen, if the president doesn't make the comments about Canada being the 51st state, then the Canadians don't boo the national anthem. If the Canadians don't boo the national anthem, the Chuck brothers don't drop the gloves before.
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
I'm
not sure about that.
Well, Bruce,
Bruce, you tell me.
I don't know if they drop the gloves before they drop the puck if they're not booing the anthem.
Bruce, what do you think?
I think it added a little spice to it. I think it was going to be good anyway. I mean, the fights, I don't know. I mean, the crowds. And
so
I
both
think
of you were elsewhere last night, and they showed the conversation at the dinner table with the Kachucks.
Yeah.
And it wasn't so much. It was part of it, but it was. He knew his son was going in there to start a fight, and it was more like, oh, we're not getting pushed around. You guys have kind of owned us in this series a little bit, and we're going to let you know in this game. This was before they won.
Yeah.
Okay, they won 3-1, but he was a tone setter for his team, like, we ain't backing down type of thing. Wasn't so much, it was more about the Canada's owning the series on the ice as opposed to off of the ice. And his dad was like, oh, I could see it in his eyes. Oh, he's doing this right now. And so that's and that's what Kachuk talked about as well. If you watch the pregame, which is really good last night.
And maybe so, but it's been a while since they went best on best U.S. and Canada. I mean, they don't do this every year. So
when's the last time?
The Olympics in, Bruce, help me out here, 18, I believe. Absolute best on best.
It wasn't the last of the Winter Olympics before, and I was getting a little confused in the years of the Winter Olympics, but the Winter Olympics before the last one was the last time the NHL was there. But let me say this about the Kachucks. You're very right, Jimmy, although I've heard those guys will go argue it at McDonald's if they don't think they're even muffin.
Yeah, I mean, they could be the Hanson brothers. I get it.
So I don't know if it took them booing the national anthem for them to,
You may be right with the brothers.
If you watch the pregame, that gave you perspective, and that's what you're watching. It's not just you got seven ex players up there bouncing 10 seconds apiece. This was good stuff. It was really, and it provided little storylines and insight to the actual the games itself. So The bookmakers are happy. They got the result they wanted. They got the Canada in the under in it last night. But Chris, I got to give the NFL a pass. I'm sorry. I mean, that's the physical nature of that sport. Can we really blame when they're asking them to play way more games than they're supposed to? Okay. I could give them a pass. It's just do away with announce a Pro Bowl team for honors only, and that's it. If you want to do a skills, but I give those guys a pass. No, the basketball players, come on, man, give me a break.
I totally agree with the NFL. I think that long ago, it was a financial thing long ago when they started the Pro Bowl. That the actual paycheck meant something to the guys. But I totally agree with you. It's just that turned into flag football circus and things. And I'm seeing guys trying to analyze and handicap the pro football, flag football at the Pro Bowl. I mean, that's absurd. So get away with that. I agree with you. Just name the teams. You know, if you want to have a little skills thing, fine, but don't have some flag football game. I mean, this really devalues the whole thing.
No, I mean they put the beach. Poor Robert Edwards never was the same after he tore his ACL in the beach flag football. Okay, I mean, with the lava wasn't available. I mean, it's dumb.
Nerve damage, man. They got it cost that guy's career.
No, absolutely, 100%. And I'm sorry, those guys. Any ex-players, that's too many games they're playing already. And no, I could give those guys a pass. Playing basketball, that's not exactly the same. They can play that. Brucey, we got Michigan State tonight and a bunch of mid-majors. But you tell me, it's going to be our theme. You know, the interesting piece. Okay, Dusty May's got dueling 7-footers. How do you use them? Man, the point center with Wolf, he's kind of doing. I thought it was clumsy early. It's getting better. They have won a lot of close games against teams not quite as tough as Michigan State. They're undefeated, though, 12-0 at home, 5-0 in the Big Ten. Michigan is at home at Chrysler. The last 4 Big Ten wins by 4, and 2. Looking at 2.5 against Tom Izzo, the record-setting Tom Izzo and the Spartans.
Yeah, in first place, the Big Ten would be first seed in the tournament at stake here tonight. You're right about Dusty May. I mean, a lot of times you got twin 7-footer. I mean, Purdue a couple of years ago with Edey and the other big kid, they didn't always play him at the same time. But Dusty May is, and he's got this little screen and roll thing going with Wolf and Golden. I mean, really interesting. But that's part of the puzzle there because it's all transfers that he's got there. Who are contributing. I mean, Roddy Gale came from Ohio State and Donaldson. I mean, they are, and they spread the floor too. They've not only got that screen and roll, but they've got a guy who can shoot threes in Burnett. So they really do spread the floor, and they're getting hot. I think this team, because of the uniqueness of this roster and the way they did right around New Year's. It looked like they put it together. They went in a little lull for about 2 weeks, and now they're hot again, 6 straight wins. This is the Big Ten team, I think. There's 2 of them really watching in the dance. So these guys in Wisconsin, which is playing really well. But I think Michigan's got a chance actually to run it all the way to the Final Four. I know Michigan State is tough, but I did also see them lose a couple of games in L.A. a couple weeks ago. So after that 18-2 start, they are 3-3. It'll probably be close. Most of these games are close that both these teams are playing lately. But I'm going to lean to Michigan a little bit here. I think something special is cooking there with Dusty May. The possible distraction of the Indiana job, I don't think he's going to leave Ann Arbor
I don't either.
For Indiana.
No.
It's too. He's got a great gig there right now, and I don't think he would. That would settle too well with anybody. So I'm gonna roll with Michigan again, and I would keep rolling with these guys. I think they win them close, but they do win them, and this is a short price tonight. Good game, very good tonight.
Anything else tonight on the card that you like?
Watch this Yale team. I know Ivy, but we've seen some Ivy teams. We've seen Yale, win games in the dance in recent years, and the better Ivy teams have been very competitive in recent years. This looks like the best Ivy team this year. They have not lost in league play yet. They are well ahead in the league. But this offense and James Jones, give him credit. I mean, this is his 25th year there. I can't believe he's been there that long.
Wow.
But man, he's had some good teams. This is the only team. This is an 83 point per game Yale offense. This is the highest scoring Yale team you've ever seen. This is the only team in the country, Ivy League or not. I mean, they played non-Ivy League teams. I mean, they played Purdue, Minnesota, some other teams in pre-league play. Akron, which was a good team leading the MAC. They beat Akron by 16. This is the only team in the country that is top 10 in both field goal percentage and 3-point shooting percentage. So, they can put the ball in the hole. They just beat Cornell handily, hit 103 on them a few weeks ago in Ithaca. Cornell is off a 39-point loss to Dartmouth. So I think they're just going to be overwhelmed. This is not that prohibitive a price tonight for the Eli in beautiful New Haven. So I think I would give Yale a shot there. One other one in the MAC tonight, kind of interesting. I'm going to give Miami, Ohio a mulligan for last week, and they lost 2 at Michigan, at Western and Eastern Michigan on the road after winning 13 of 14. Before, I mentioned about Yale in the top 10 field goal percentage and 3-point. Up till last week, that was also Miami, Ohio in there. They can really put the ball in the net. So they've fallen off a little bit in field goal percentage because last week they get Kent State tonight. They're a very short price favorite.
-1.5.
In Oxford tonight. I'm going to give Miami a chance to bounce back at home. They have not lost at home in MAC play. Again, team that can shoot the ball extremely well. So short price, Miami O tonight might be worth a look in the MAC over Kent State.
All right, Yale -9.5 right now. Miami O -1.5. I can tell you what, the Yale, for all the reasons you recognize too, get that now if you are going to get on that one, because I would assume that thing was going to move up based on the previous games and the trends and what's that going. Tennessee opened up 2.5. It's already down to pick 'em at A&M tomorrow. Mississippi State following up their win against Texas A&M. 1.5 at Norman against Oklahoma. Houston 7.5 at home against Iowa State. Alabama opened up 7.5. It's up to 8.5 already against Kentucky. Duke 10.5 at the Garden against Illinois. Any of the highlighted games for tomorrow catch your attention?
Well, I'll tell you one that's caught my eye in the SEC again, and it's one other one there with the ranked team. That's Missouri going into Fayetteville tomorrow. And Missouri off of that rousing game the other night. They are really good. And this is a team that really struggled last year in the SEC, really struggled. And Dennis Gates has got to start getting some votes, I think, for Coach of the Year. They've got great balance. They score about 84 points per game. Again, great shooter, almost 50% from the floor, better than 37% from Tripleville. So they're awfully good. But here's Calipari. They hung around against Auburn the other night.
Yeah.
What is this now? 5-6 straight spread covers. They slowed Auburn down. He has got these guys, and we talked about them a couple of weeks ago on this show. And as odd as it seemed, with the injuries and the specific injury to Boogie Flynn, they started to play better after he got hurt. And they have just been able to control the pace. They've got Jonell Davis going again.
He's more comfortable, isn't he?
Yeah. Auburn. Yeah, and he had a little off game against A&M before that, but all double digits prior to that since Flan went out, and he had not done much since he transferred from FAU. They've been able to move Wagner into back to the point guard where he's a little bit more comfortable. I was really surprised. Look at some of the stats of the game the other night for Arkansas. Ivicic, the big kid, had a terrible game against Auburn. He has normally been a pretty reliable. He'd scored 25 and 27 in recent games, 0 for 10 from the floor, 0 for 9 on triples, and they still hung around the other night with the big kid not doing much. I think this is a real slippery banana peel here for Missouri tomorrow. So I'm going to keep riding Calipari until they don't cover a game, and they are, even though they lost, their profile for the dance, they're probably toward the cut line, but I think they might make it safely in with a couple more wins here down the stretch.
Addition by subtraction, maybe. There's no doubt. Jonell Davis looks way more comfortable in his role since Bland has been knocked out. Great stuff as always, Bruce. Good luck to you this weekend. We'll talk to you next week. Thank you, buddy.
Have a good weekend, boys. Thanks.
All right, don't forget, we talked about Charlie Love and those cinnamon king cakes from Town Square Pizza. Hey, if you're going to do the Artemis or Orion Ball tomorrow night, just when you order at the Town Square Pizza, 408-8088, 408-8088. Just give your name and table number at time of ordering, and King Cakes will be waiting when your guests arrive. Order before noon on the day or before the event, and contact GM at townsquarepizza.net or 408-8088. And to detail, chocolate chip, cinnamon,
cream cheese,
chocolate
chip with the cream cheese,
yes,
and praline.
praline,
Yeah, that's
chocolate chip, cinnamon. You can do the cream cheese by itself or with any of those. And so, but they do them to order. So call ahead and reserve your king cakes. Town Square Pizza, Square King Cakes this carnival season.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Go Tommies! If you enjoy reading 5-star reviews, then you're going to love my company. I'm Tommy from Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, and I want you to be our next 5-star review. So go to GoTommys.com, check out our products and our local team, then set up your free quote today. That's GEAUX Tommys.com for Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding.
Go Tommies!
This is Charles Hanniger for Coastal Capital Advisors. When it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. So Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor a plan for your family's needs, no matter your age or your financial situation. The bottom line is Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you and build a lifetime relationship. I know, because they work for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376 or online at coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors, LLC, doing business as Coastal Capital Advisors as a registered investment advisor. Securities offered through New Age Securities, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC.
A parade of savings await you all month long with Mardi Gras markdown pricing at Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales. Now's the time to expect more Supreme savings, more Supreme selection, and more Supreme satisfaction. Choose from one of the area's best selections of new Silverados, Tahoes, Traverses, and all the other great Supreme Chevrolet values. For more, please visit SupremeChevy.com. That's SupremeChevy.com. Or together, let's drive to Supreme Chevrolet in Gonzales.
Darren James and Associates, powered by LPT Realty, commit to excellent service unlike any other. Darren and his team save buyers as much money as possible. If you're ready to buy or sell your home, call Darren James or visit agent225.com.
Get more of what you're looking for at L'Auberge Casino Hotel Baton Rouge. More variety with quick bites to fine dining, plus specials every day. More big screens and big games at our all-new ESPN Bet Sportsbook. More of the most popular slots and more ways to play tables with $10 bets up to high-limit games. And more ways to stay and play at the best casino hotel in Baton Rouge. Plus, join and play up to $500 on us. Make more memories with the area's favorite casino, L'Auberge Baton Rouge. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700.
This hour of Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny is brought to you by Dana Brown at the law offices of O.C. Brown, 343-1111, and OCBrown.com. Roto-Rooter for all your plumbing needs, 925-8710. Supreme Rice, grown, milled, processed in Louisiana since 1936. United Community Bank, the local way to bank big. Tex Morris at Edward Jones Investments on Jefferson Highway, 928-8659. Total Maintenance, your one-stop shop for AC, electrical, generators, and plumbing. Service today, every day for Total Maintenance and Coastal Capital Advisors. Markets evolve. We adapt.
It's carnival time at High Neighbor, and we're throwing you special store-wide. USDA Choice Chairman's Reserve Boneless Top Sirloin Steaks, $6.99 a pound. Fresh lean pork strips or steaks, $1.59 a pound. Fresh Sanderson Farms Boneless Skinless Chicken Breast, $2.99 a pound. Farm-raised jumbo shrimp, $5.99 a pound. Lisa Taplin with 7 king cakes. You're ready for Mardi Gras.
And I want everybody to have their own special king cake, so one thing say you got more than me.
Hi, neighbor. Maybe you've heard that word of mouth is the best advertising. At Guaranteed Media, we agree.
We have the biggest mouths in town.
4 local radio stations featuring influencers from Baton Rouge.
Local radio speaks to local people.
And our stations have the audience you need. Our marketing executives will help you fine-tune your message to reach potential customers more effectively. To learn more,
visit 1045ESPN.com and click connect. That's 1045ESPN.com and click connect.
Jake and James of Trash Rangers. How does $13.95 a month for residential trash pickup sound to you? Go to TrashRangers.com for all the info and make the switch today. That's TrashRangers.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Remember, the show's available on demand, LouisianaSports.net, 1045ESPN.com. You can get lots of great stuff for free at LouisianaSports.net. Tennessee and A&M tomorrow, probably the the highest rated game in the Southeastern Conference. Tennessee's opened up a 1.5-point favorite here.
It opened up 2.5. It's down to pick 'em now.
It's down to pick 'em
Yeah.
now. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm showing 1.5 where I'm looking, but
Yeah.
a little bit surprising that Tennessee would open as a favorite. They've been
I was
on
surprised.
the road.
I thought
A&M's 12-1 at home, and the loss was a very hotly contested game against Alabama that they ended up losing by 6.
I think A&M's trending fine. I mean, they lost to Mississippi State. That's fine. Mississippi State had to have a home win at some point. I would have put A&M as a slight favorite in this one, so I was wrong. Now snooze through the opportunity to catch 2.5, but no, pick 'em. I think A&M should be. I thought the wrong team was favored in the opening line here. I would have put A&M about 2.5.
Real mixed bag for Tennessee at on the road. They had a 30-point drubbing at Florida, where they just completely run out of building, and they returned the favor when they went back to Knoxville. But they gave Auburn all they wanted. That was a 2-point game at Auburn, and that was a back-and-forth game. It was hotly contested, a big defensive game. So they've shown out at times where they can put up a big effort on the road, and they've shown out where they've completely spit the bit. So I don't know which Tennessee team do you think you're going to get? The one that lost by 30 at Florida, the one that lost by 2 at Auburn?
Well, certainly A&M's not as explosive and not capable to put on that type of offensive explosion that Florida did. But it's they're capable of defending. I think this is what I want to see the total in this game, because this could be a rock fight.
130.5.
Yeah, it could be that. That's low. That's low, and it could be in the the 50s or low 60s. The one thing when you have a total that low, they could score 15 points in the last minute if they're hit a 3, foul, hit a bucket, foul, and that stuff. But it's that is a low college basketball total.
It is. What you really want is a blowout there, and if you get a blowout, maybe you lose the total anyway.
So, but Tennessee and A&M they're that cluster of teams that really is committed on the defensive end of the floor, that is prone to going through scoring droughts. Throw St. John's in there. Who else, Charlie? I'm trying to think of. There was
defensively.
Ole
Miss,
Houston,
for sure.
Obviously.
Yeah.
But A&M, Tennessee, Houston, St. John's is kind of those teams. They're elite teams. They're elite defensive teams that sometimes we know about the point guard for Tennessee. I mean, he can be erratic. I think he gained some perspective in his injury, in sitting on the bench the following game after they lost that Tennessee game as well. And the team played well when he was out. The short term, they need Ziegler, and Ziegler is their X factor. If he can create off the bounce for his teammates, man, they are so much better. They just are. When he tries to force it for his own shot, they suffer. And so it's just that simple. And he should be better. And I love when he takes the guys down low. He's pretty crafty on finishing his own shot for a little guy. He shoots a very high percentage in that situation. And he's calmed down. He's not shooting 8, 9 threes a game. He's shooting about 4. And that's the number he needs to be at. Keep him honest where they have to guard him, but you're not a volume shooter at less than 30%.
Since he took the 17 shots against Auburn and Kentucky and made one of them, they've played 4 games, and he's shot the ball 14 times in 4 games. Okay?
So that's 3.5 a pop.
And
that's perfect.
And out of the 14 shots, you know how many he's made?
Oh, he took like 10, 11.
10.
Yeah,
10 out of 14 since going 1 for 17, because you're shooting the ball about almost 4 times a game instead of
so
9
he's
or
being
10.
more selective with his shots, and that's the thing. Yes, when they back off on, I want you shooting it when you have a clear shot, but he's just not a volume shooter. So he's limited,
And since then, Jimmy, not just from 3, but he is shooting well over 60% from the floor overall. Okay, I mean he's 14 for 22 in his last 2 games. That was against Vandy and UK. That's winning basketball.
That's the smartest approach. And those 4 games happened after he got injured, got out the game, was poor, was probably a low point. Now he hadn't shot 1 for 17. Those stretches haven't happened often, but that was a low point too. And I mean, it's like the quarterback sitting down for a couple of possessions and coming back with a different perspective. And they needed it. I mean, something about that, Charlie. And I think Alabama's going to be in that situation tomorrow. I think they in a spot where they, I don't know, man, y'all go defend. Y'all go to. I mean, they may be more prone to listen to their coach right now more than ever. Ohio State, after being beaten by Michigan, and if you don't think losing to Michigan is a low point, especially after you lose the 3 games before, were they a different team? Yes. Ziegler has been a different player since he got perspective, and I'm thinking that Alabama team is going to put on
I'll be surprised if that's not a big effort
bust them
tomorrow.
pretty good tomorrow. And I don't think Lamont Butler's coming back.
Well, not tomorrow for sure.
Well, yeah. So, no, I'm talking about for this game. Yeah, I'm not talking about for this particular matchup. The spot. I loved Missouri during the week. I thought it was going to be a hangover no matter who was involved. And there was a lot in that game last Saturday, 1 versus 2 ever. In the SEC, and it's Auburn, Alabama. That's a lot. And it was 59 points at half. You can't win a game. You give up 59 points and a half. So I'm looking for them to have a little bit more commitment on the defensive end, being back home. And you know what? No matter what Kentucky team comes into your gym, you'll always be excited to play them.
130.5 is a low total for college basketball, right? What you getting at A&M? It's a little higher.
Kentucky and Alabama. Let me guess.
Go ahead.
163.
You're low.
165.
You're low.
167.
You're low. You're like playing the clock game on The Price is Right. Come on, Bob. 177.5.
177.
Yeah, it was 173.5. Auburn and Alabama.
That's 90 to 87.
And I can't tell you that that's not going to be the final score.
That was one of my over bets this year. Was Alabama at Kentucky. That was one of them earlier.
Well,
they're 2 willing participants.
Yeah, they're gonna show. I'll be surprised there's not a big effort from Alabama tomorrow.
Yeah, we're on the same page. You might want to get that because it's kind of creeping up right now. So don't forget our friends at Total Maintenance. Total Maintenance again. It's chilly, I understand, but now is the time to get that AC unit checked. Make sure that everything is cleaned. So when we start stressing these AC units more, they're going to be lower monthly bills. You got a part that seems it's okay right now, but when we really start stressing those units a lot, this thing is going to cause a more costly repair. We'll take care of that for you, and also extend the lifetime of your unit. Nobody likes that call. Oh yeah, you need a whole new air conditioner unit. Now's the time to get it done, and it's just $79 instead of the normal $179. So one-time AC visit, just $79 from Total Maintenance. Call my buddy Lucas Ragusa at 480-1000. 480-1000. We are Total Maintenance.
Live at Rufino's, live at lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Huge news. Right now at Wendy's, you can get a Son of Baconator for just $3. I don't think you understand this situation. The Son of Baconator is only $3 for a limited time. You know, smoked bacon, rich melted cheese. That Son of Baconator is only $3. Thank you to whoever wished upon that star. For bacon that just won't quit, gotta be Wendy's.
U.S. price and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Alaska and Hawaii, not valid on a combo or on third-party delivery platform.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbor's dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Do you feel like you get hurt at the most inconvenient times? Brock's After Hours Clinic has you covered for a break, sprain, or strain. Open 7 days a week, nights and weekends. Walk-ins welcome. Learn more, brortho.com.
Serving part-time in the Army National Guard has led to a lot of firsts for me. It paid for me.
For you or Hanny.
Hold while I served part-time. That job and the home loan benefits I got from the Army National Guard helped me buy my first house. I also know that I will be one of the first to respond if my community ever needs me.
Sponsored by the Louisiana Army National Guard, aired by the Louisiana Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Live at Lunch with Ott and Hanny Restaurant Club. Snow Seafood and Steak for over 50 years on Airline, Highway, and Highway 74 in Gonzales. Dozy Place for hand-cut steaks on Government Street and Mid-City. Louis Cafe, a Baton Rouge landmark since 1941. Just outside the north gates of LSU. Finbom, sushi, burrito, poke, ramen at Burbank and Lee. And Phil's Oyster Bar since 1950 on Government Street and now in the South Downs Shopping Center.
It's always great to have a winning edge. And when you're in a professional-grade GMC, you can tackle every day like a champ when you take the field in the GMC Yukon Denali Ultimate. Break from the huddle of ordinary with 15-inch diagonal head-up display, great for long scoring drives. And whether at home or away, travel in 16-way power front seats with massage features in your GMC Yukon. Test drive a game-winning Yukon today at your Bayou GMC dealer.
Power outages are unpredictable, so stay ready with a Generac home standby generator from Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Trusted in South Louisiana, we provide expert installation and service. Call 225-300-9389 or visit boudreauxelectrical.com.
Golf Tech of Baton Rouge is transforming your golf game. Conveniently located in Town Center, Golf Tech offers indoor lessons, club fitting, club sales, dedicated coaches, and more. Your one-stop shop for a better golf game. It's a new year. You should have a new game. Go to golftech.com today to be the rock star of your golf group.
Since the 1930s, Supreme Rice has delighted their customers for all of your favorite South Louisiana dishes. Whether you like the brown, long grain, medium grain, jasmine, or the new parboiled rice, Supreme Rice makes your favorite dishes even better. They even have a healthy low glycemic rice, a great option for diabetics and those who have high insulin resistance. Supreme Rice is proud to be part of the Climate Smart program, which promotes water conservation and reduces methane emissions so future generations of Louisiana farmers can enjoy the same benefits. For more information and great recipes, find them online at supremerice.com.
Feeling off your game? Low T might be the culprit. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has your back. Revitalize your energy and your mood. Let Goodwood help you get back to peak performance. Visit yourgoodwood.com. Jimmy Ott's 5-pack of picks, brought to you by Supreme Rice. Make sure you use Louisiana rice, grown by Louisiana farmers since 1936. Available at most local grocery stores. Supreme Rice.
And if you're going out tailgating for LSU baseball anytime in the near future, you get your jambalaya going, make it with Supreme Rice, man.
Supreme Rice, baby. That parboiled rice, loving that stuff, man. It was really good. Every Monday at the Odd House, got my own little hold of mayo working with my Supreme Rice. And I always wondered why I couldn't get my rice at home, like restaurant quality rice. I got it now. It's just the rice you're using. It's that parboiled rice. I love that. Little 5-pack for you this weekend. 2 tonight and 3 tomorrow for college basketball. I'm going to took with Michigan -2.5. Again, this really different type of setup. They have a point center with Wolf, the point center for the rarely do you have your leading rebounder by a lot, double-digit rebound guy running the point. He is, and it was clumsy earlier. I see an improved team in Michigan, and it's a lot because they're kind of learning their roles a little bit. A lot of how many guys on that Michigan new coach, new roster, the whole thing. They're getting better and better. Dusty May, and I think it's more and more comfortable. They're undefeated at home. I'll take Michigan -2.5 tonight against Michigan State. Also, Villanova at home. They are tough to beat at home. St. John's shot over 50% from the floor at Villanova and still lost. We know how they defend. I like Villanova tonight at home. The big boy is really having a nice year for them. Marquette Marquette is, again, I just think that top 15 NET, top 15 ranking. I think a lot of that is based on some of the earlier accomplishments. I don't see them being a second weekend team in the tournament. So I got Villanova plus 1.5 at home. Another one that is going from Pickett to plus 1.5. Charlie, you're ahead of me on that one. You said that you just checked the A&M Tennessee game. Give me the home team here as well. Going to be a rock fight. Points will be at a premium, but I'll take the Aggies at home against Tennessee plus the 1.5 to bounce back after their road loss. Then a couple of home favorites, both 7.5-point favorites. Now, we got to be fair. Alabama's going to 8.5, but Arizona destroyed BYU, won by double digits at Provo. That's hard to do. That is hard to do. Emotional win for BYU at home. They swept the Kansas teams. Kansas State by double digits. Kansas by 30. Now they go on the road. Arizona's already beaten them. I like Arizona. Tough loss last week against Houston. They should have won, winning for most of the game. Then Alabama, for the reasons we stated previously. Like this spot, Kentucky, still no Lamont Butler. They come in underhanded. Alabama, after their low point of the season, I think this is a buy low spot for them. And when you humbled a little bit, you listen to the coach a little bit more. Oates, this is your chance to get this crew to try and defend a little bit better, like Bama. Minus 8.5 at home against Kentucky.
I'll throw you one bonus pick. I think you'll like this one. We got a line now in Missouri and Arkansas. Arkansas getting 2.5 at home against Missouri coming off of that.
I like them too.
Yeah. I thought you would.
They're catching how many?
2.5.
Okay, I didn't see that line.
Yeah,
okay.
Arkansas, it's a 7:00 game. Arkansas catching 2.5 and Missouri coming off of that.
I've been riding Arkansas. I think like John L. Davis, I think the big guy who didn't, he had an off night. After the big nights against LSU, and who was the other team that they had such a big night? It's like 27-25.
Yeah.
But they could have won that game. It was a 7-point final. It was much closer than your typical 7-point wins for Auburn.
Yeah, I mean they've lost 3 out of 4, so it's easy to lose sight of the fact that
you showing?
Missouri minus 2.5.
Okay,
Arkansas
I'm showing
plus
1.5.
Okay. They went to Auburn. They were a 15.5-point, I think, underdog. They lost by 6. Lost by 7. They were an 8.5-point underdog at A&M. They lost by 8. They beat LSU by a dozen, and then they lost against Alabama at home by 4. So maybe the 1-3 straight up, maybe clouding that they are playing better. Arkansas,
well, a team that's playing better, it's getting a lot of people's control, and especially it's uncharacteristic traditionally for them, and that is Wisconsin, scoring 94 and 95 points the last 2 games. They got Oregon at home, 7.5 at home, road-weary Oregon Ducks. That might be one where they blast them pretty good. And you know what a team that might bounce back, Charlie? The number 1 team in the country. It's not like a big bounce back, but they may slaughter Georgia. I did not like what I saw in Georgia at A&M. Well, if you wilt the first little run that an opponent makes on the road, well, Auburn gonna make a run at some point. A couple of them, they may blast them out the gym.
Georgia,
it's a lot, like 18.5.
17.5 is what I'm showing. Not quite as bad as we talked about South Carolina's margin of defeat on the road, but here's what Georgia has lost by on the road. They lost by 12 at Ole Miss. They lost by 18 at Tennessee. They did play a close game against Arkansas with 3. They lost by 30 at Florida. They lost by 21 at Alabama. So they have been absolute roadkill. They have been demolished, not close games at all, with the exception of one on the road. So it's a bunch of points to lay, but if I had to pick a side, I'd take the whole.
Speaking of roadkill, Pot Gator making roadkill out of this Vallarta Mexico Open. Another birdie for the Pot Man. Pot Gator.
The Pot Man? It's an unfortunate nickname, huh? The Pot Man?
It's more and more legal every day, Charlie.
It doesn't mean it's a good nickname. You're right.
Pot Man. Wes Reynolds, Pot Man. The Pot Gator was one of his picks, his 4th pick. 75-1. He has a 4-stroke lead at the Mexico Open. So Anyway.
Wow. Today's show brought to you by Coastal Capital Advisors, your full-service financial planners, because when it comes to retirement, no two situations are alike. Coastal Capital Advisors will work with you as well as your business partners and tax professionals to make sure your goals are achieved. It doesn't matter what your age is or what your income is. Coastal Capital Advisors will tailor-make a plan for you. I know, because that's what they did for me. For more information, contact Philip Fontenot and his staff at 337-981-1376. Online, coastalcapitaladv.com. Advisory services provided by New Age Advisors. Securities offered through New Age Securities, member FINRA, SIPC. Back to wrap it up here at Rufino's Live at Lunch, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Workbox can handle all of your movable storage needs, commercial and residential. Our shipping containers come in various sizes.
Hang on one second, Jordan.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Say when.
It's rolling.
All right. This is Charles Sandegriff. Join us for the Monday edition of Live at Lunch from Big Mike's in Denham Springs. We'll recap a big weekend in college basketball, and Troy Macker from Bet Rivers joins us live. Live at Lunch from Big Mike's on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
February 28th. Void where prohibited. Subject to credit approval.
Recall alert? Due for an oil change? Brakes louder than the kids in the back? Bayou Ford can get you in for service today. You don't have to wait. Same-day service. Schedule now at BayouFord.com. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Attention, vehicle owners. Before you trade your transportation, let K&M Automotive give your vehicle a new lease on life with a remanufactured product from Jasper Engines and Transmissions. A Jasper remanufactured engine, transmission, or differential will extend your vehicle's life, giving you the extra cash to do the things you really enjoy. And Jasper offers a 3-year, 100,000-mile nationwide parts and labor warranty. K&M Automotive, 636-2875. That's K&M Automotive, Segan near Perkins.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and Citizens Bank and Trust are back with another major sweepstakes in 2025. This time, we want to cover your car payments.
Sweet. That's awesome.
It's a $5,000 grand prize with a bonus chance to win free car washes from Benny's Car Wash for 6 months. We're also letting you earn extra entries by subscribing to our LouisianaSports.net daily newsletter. To sign up, visit 1045ESPN.com. From Citizens Bank, Benny's Car Wash, and 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
When it comes to celebrating life, there's no better place than Rufino's. With locations in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Rufino's is a steak, seafood, and Italian-inspired restaurant that focuses on the celebration of life, regardless of the occasion. Whether it's the food they serve or the service they provide, their goal is to ensure a remarkable experience for their guests that is always remembered. To view our menu, visit rufinosrestaurant.com. Rufino's, where Louisiana comes to celebrate life.
Brandon Holly here. Did you know Relief Windows is the window, door, hardy plank, and vinyl siding and interior shutter headquarters of the Gulf South? That's right. For nearly 20 years, we have provided you with a lifetime guarantee. Relief from the heat, cold, storms, and sun. So go where thousands have gone to upgrade the exterior and the interior of their homes. ReliefWindows.com. That's ReliefWindows.com.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. I want to let you know that we have a local office in Baton Rouge that is able to handle your case with care and attention. After being in an accident, the last thing you want to do is travel. Our local hometown attorneys are here to ensure you receive the highest quality legal service and help get you the compensation you deserve. Reach out to our team of local attorneys to handle your case. Call us at 225-888-8888.
Get going. Hey, get it done. Get going.
Self-made very pleased with the case, Baton Rouge, LA 22-13-644.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. 5 brands on one lot. Shop BayouAutomotive.com.
Live at lunch with Odd and Hanny from Rufino's on Highland Road on 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
Back here at Rufino's Live at Lunch, Kellen Moore with another addition to his staff. Now, as expected, defensive coordinator Brandon Staley, late of the he was with the 49ers last year. 3-year stint as head coach of the Chargers. He spent time with the Rams, Broncos, and Bears before that. He is the defensive coordinator. It's obviously somebody that Moore knows, and he had also promised that he would have at least one former head coach on his staff. So Staley checks that box as well. We weren't crazy about him as a head coach, but as a defensive coordinator,
game manager, he's not. That's not his.
He will not be tasked with that.
4th and 17 at your own 12. Let's go for it.
No, they will not be asking his opinion on clock management or late game situational stuff. As a coordinator, he was fine. I mean, he had that Rams team. That's what catapulted him into the Chargers job. The Rams were first in the league in points and total yards allowed. Okay, they had some talent on that team. I mean, you had Aaron Donald in the middle, who was the best defensive player in football. You had Von Miller, who at the time was still a premier pass rusher, and those were just the highlights. So he had plenty of talent to work with, but they were really good. He was a bad head coach with the Chargers. Just no way to steer around that. So and his record wasn't that bad. That was the funny thing.
Well, he had a decent roster, Charlie.
He did. They looked so underachieving.
The Chargers have been underachieving, and I think that they were close this year, and they'll Harbaugh have a little bit more of his roster this year, and I expect them to be in the postseason this year.
Yeah, I don't hold the head coaching stuff against him in a coordinator's role. Okay, we've seen plenty of guys that were really good coordinators, including one of the guys that he coached for. He coached for Vic Fangio when he was in Denver. Fangio's been a fantastic assistant coach just about everywhere.
Fangio's good.
He wasn't a good head coach. Okay, Dennis Allen was fine as a defensive coordinator. Wasn't a good head coach. So
one of my favorite things about Fangio's resume is they ran him off in Miami because he was too hard on him.
He was mean.
Mm-hmm. He was mean at practice.
We didn't like
kind of what Philadelphia needed, huh? You don't think there was a little culture shift in Philadelphia, the way they ended 2023 season in this past year?
The finger pointing at the end of last year for Philadelphia.
2023, you mean?
Yes, the 2023 season. I remember, now this was on the offensive side, but I remember Kelsey sitting on that bench with Jalen Hurts on one side of him and A.J. Brown kind of almost stalking in front of him. And it's like, man, this might not work. I don't know if it was all Fangio. I'm sure it had a lot to do with some other things too. But yes, it definitely worked.
I mean, it was. See, when you're handicapping, a lot of times you got to catch things for about a week or two, and then that window of opportunity closes once the results come in. This Eagles at the end of the 2023 was an extended window ATM. I mean, it was a joke, man. I mean, they
completely collapsed.
They were 10-1, and then lost 6 of 7. Their one win was at home against the Giants.
Yeah,
but if you remember, they didn't cover that one. They failed to cover 7 straight to end the season.
Was the beginning of that run when San Francisco went to Philly and demolished them? Yeah,
they were 10-1. They had just beaten Buffalo in overtime. It was a crazy game that I don't think they covered though, but they won in overtime against Buffalo and Josh Allen. Another Buffalo kind of crazy collapse. Got killed by San Francisco, killed by Dallas by 20. Beaten on Monday night, which the backup was at Locke. They beat them on Monday night, 20-17. They failed to cover. They were killing the Giants on Christmas Day, and then Adoree Jackson had like the 100-yard pick six, and they were favored like 17 points. The Giants covered that one. They lost to Arizona at home. And they lost to the Giants the last week of the season. They got killed by Tampa Bay in the postseason. I mean, it was 7 in a row. And the one against the Giants was a lucky cover.
30.
That one Philadelphia should have won going, but they didn't. 7 in a row covers in the NFL.
Thanks to the folks here at Rufino's Buffalo Oyster Shrimp Cocktail, Sea Bass, and Dry Aged Strip on your specials menu today, along with a strawberry shortcake tiramisu. Thanks everybody for participating. On Monday we will be at Big Mike's. For Jordan back in the studio and for Jimmy out, I'm Charles Hanniger saying thank you and good afternoon. Stay tuned for Hunt Palmer on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Live at lunch.
Truck Mom.